What's up, guys? So I want to give my opinion on last night's episode of Game of Thrones. This is the first time I've covered Game of Thrones on this channel. And last night was the episode of Winterfell, and it was pretty intense. Now, I originally recorded me and my friends talking in party chat, and we discussed it, and I was going to upload that, but it was like over an hour of footage, and it ended up being too big of a pain to edit, and it just the quality wasn't very good because of the recording party chat over Xbox. It just wasn't like, it was going to be too big of a pain to edit versus the views I was going to get, which, I mean, I don't expect this video to get very many views either, so I'm not going to spend 2 hours editing a video that's only going to get like a couple thousand views. So I just want to give my thoughts on it. And originally, I was pretty ecstatic. Like, I tweeted instantly as soon as the episode ended, and I was really excited. But as I sat down and I actually talked it out with my friends, and the more I thought about the episode, I was like, well, damn, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense and that they did really dumb. So I originally gave the episode like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And I still think the fighting and the scenery and the CGI and just everything, director-wise, like directing and the fighting, I'd give like a 9 or a 10. It was amazing. But the story and the plot armor is just like, what? The characters are supposed to be able to die in Game of Thrones. That's what Game of Thrones is. Like, they're not afraid to kill off their characters. And I don't think I've ever seen a worse example of plot armor almost ever. Now that I sit here and I think back to the fight, I mean, one, you have the Dothraki run out and just get absolutely massacred. So that didn't make any sense, like, for a military standpoint. I don't know why they just wasted their time and soldiers to do that. That was, I mean, the scene was beautiful. It was epic, and it made you realize that they were absolutely screwed when all their flames just disappeared. So I thought that scene was cool in the moment. But when you sit here and you think about, I mean, why did they do that? So they all died for basically no reason. And then all of the characters that we all know, like all the main characters, they're standing in the front lines and all somehow live. All of them. All of the main characters. I'm not talking about the side characters that died. I'm talking about the main characters, like Jaime or Tormund, or like any of those characters. They're in the front line, the absolute front, standing in front of all their soldiers. And the White Walkers show up, wipe out everybody. Everybody gets killed. That's out in the battlefield before they start retreating. Like, they just get slaughtered. But yet, every single one of the main characters makes it back to the castle, like to the keep. How? It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I can't comprehend it. It's just not, it doesn't make any sense. And there were so many times in the episode where, like, the camera would pan on one of these characters and they would be completely swarmed and they'd be laying on the ground underneath the bodies, and you're like, wow, I guess that person just died. And then you'd see them a few seconds later in a different scene. So as the episode progressed, I just kept thinking, well, that person's not going to die because I already thought they died like 2 previous times. And the plot armor is a bit ridiculous. Like, I thought maybe at least 2 or 3 of those characters would have died. And then down in the crypt, I thought that Tyrion and Sansa were gonna like kill themselves. That didn't happen. And then Tyrion runs off into the fight, and you're thinking, oh man, he's gonna do something heroic and die. No, he just runs from one cubbyhole to the next cubbyhole. So, oh man, I don't get it. It's like they built up the White Walkers since the first episode back in season 1 years ago, and now everything was concluded in one episode. It just felt underwhelming. At least give them 2 episodes, especially since a lot of people thought that the series was going to end with the White Walkers killing everybody. That's what I thought. I thought maybe, well, they screwed around and didn't prepare well enough. Now they're all screwed. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of epic moments, but the writing just doesn't make that much sense. And I don't have any problem with Arya killing the Night King. There's a lot of people that are upset calling her a Mary Sue. They just don't like the fact that she's a girl. Like, I don't care about the politics behind it. I'm perfectly fine with Arya killing him. No problem at all. My problem is how they executed it. I don't get it. Like, one scene, she's in a room and the drops of her blood is enough for all the White Walkers to hear her. But then in the next scene, there's an entire courtyard full of White Walkers, and none of them notice her sneaking up behind the Night King. Really? That's just kind of stupid. It didn't make any sense to me. And the Night King's like generals, like all the like big top dog walkers, like all the other ones that have control over the other White Walkers, they didn't do anything the entire episode. And none of them noticed either that Arya was sneaking up behind him. They were the ones standing right there. Like, I don't know. It just felt kind of like a cop-out and kind of anticlimactic. I thought him getting killed and all the White Walkers vanishing was pretty cool to see. And like I said, I'm perfectly fine if she's the one that kills him. I just wish they would have done it in a better way. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, where was she? Was she hiding amongst the other walkers? Was she up in the tree or something? I don't know. So now we have like 3 episodes left, and all the main characters are still alive. So now they have to fight Cersei. So unless these characters die in the battle against Cersei, they're just like, what's the point of keeping them around? Why couldn't they have died in that battle? Like, I don't know. It feels like a missed opportunity. Like, there are so many characters and just nameless soldiers that died. Oh, whoop-de-doo. There's a bunch of soldiers that died. I mean, we don't care about the soldiers. We care about the main characters. And there wasn't that impact of it. Like, I don't know. But that's my overall thoughts on the episode. Like, I thought it was filmed good. Okay. I guess the lighting, there's a lot of people complaining about the lighting, and I could kind of make out what was going on, but I was also watching on my phone in the pitch black darkness. Like, I had to turn off all the lights and stuff around me just so I could like squint and try to make out what was going on. So the lighting was pretty bad in this episode. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I didn't have as much trouble as like some people were claiming seeing the fight, but my problem was that not enough people died, and it felt like it was too early of a conclusion for the Night King. Like, we can't have this long of a build up over this many years and it just ends in one episode. Like, he should have at least had 2 episodes to this fight, in my opinion. I think he should have been the final fight, like the final boss compared to Cersei. Like, he has been building this army for years, has so many soldiers in his undead army, and Cersei just shows up like halfway through Game of Thrones, takes over and buys her army, and that's better. I don't know, but that's basically a summary of my opinion on the episode. I would give it, with all things considered, I'm probably sitting at like a 7, because I really liked the fighting. I thought it was epic the entire time. I just don't like the plot behind it and the execution of the final scenes. That's what I don't like about it. So I would rate like the plot like a 4 or 5, and then I like the action, giving it like a 9 or, well, no, okay. I'll change that. I'll say the fighting was like a 9 or a 10. I'm sitting close to a 10. That's how much I liked this episode. Like, the fighting was crazy good, but the plot kind of takes it down a few pegs, so I'm sitting at about a 7. But that's my opinions on the episode. What did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments below. I mean, was it everything that you expected? Did you want more? I mean, what do you guys think about the Night King dying so fast? I don't know. Just give me your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on how you guys feel. And that's going to do it for me, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.
We would be honored if you would join us. You cannot resist